Hi, my name's Zitali and Happy New Year! Yay, we made it through the year! In this video, I'll be drawing a little Happy New Year picture in the background, as well as having a chat about everything that's happened over the past 12 months with my video channel and what's been happening with art and that kind of thing. Although the year 2022 has been a bit of a rough year globally with things like wars, global pandemics, recessions, and increased cost of living, personally, it's actually been a pretty good year for me. Near the beginning of the year, I decided to pick up my YouTube channel again. I had actually had about 3 videos on there for, I think, 2 or 3 years. And with the release of the new Pokemon game coming up, I decided to do a new video based on Sprigatito, the new starter they had just announced. I actually drew it on the day they released the announcement, and after I did that video, I decided I wanted to try and do regular videos, despite the fact I only had about 5 subscribers. So from that point on, I just did regular videos, and a couple of videos later, I started doing a voiceover. Before that, all I had was text on the screen and a bit of music, but I quickly found that I far enjoyed doing the voiceover, especially since my spelling is not the best, and I'd always have to get someone to proofread my videos before I put them up, because there was bound to be spelling mistakes somewhere in there. So that was in March, and in March alone, I actually did 10 new YouTube videos, and the ones near the end of the month were actually ones about Day of Dragons. So I'd done a Singe Crest video that I split into 2 parts, and then I decided to do a Flamestalker video because the Flamestalker wasn't too far off being finished. There was a lot of hype around it, and I decided to draw a little baby Flamestalker. Now this actually got retweeted by Be Awesome Games, which was actually the reason why my channel started to take off a little bit. I know I've only got 100 subscribers now, but that is a long way from the 5 subscribers I had before that video was retweeted. So I really do owe a lot to Be Awesome Games for retweeting that video and bringing a little bit of attention to my channel. It certainly inspired me to continue to draw, as I hadn't really been drawing that much before that. In fact, in January, I didn't finish any artwork at all, but from that moment onwards, I was drawing like completely finished pictures at least once a week, so I'd always have a video for my YouTube channel. So it really did inspire me to continue working on things and continue uploading. Even only a couple of people were looking at it at the time, it was still enough motivation for me to keep it up. Because of how motivated I was to create new art to keep my channel going, this did mean that the year 2022 for me was one of my most productive years. In fact, it's the year I've drawn the most since I started drawing way back in 2003. 2003 is still the year with the most fully completed large artworks, like a proper picture, not just a sketch, because that was the year I started drawing properly. I just finished school, I didn't have a job, I had a lot of free time, and I was just learning how to use Photoshop and was always really excited about it. DeviantArt was also really new, and there was a lot of people on it and there was a lot of activity on it, so I always got feedback straight away, and it was very rewarding to put art up on DeviantArt at that time. So because of that, it would be difficult for me to overtake the year 2003, just because of the amount of time I had. I can only see me being able to draw more than that year if I quit my day job, which I still have, and just concentrated on art full time. But yeah, I managed to do 50 fully completed colored pictures this year, and that doesn't include the comic pages I've been doing for Be Awesome Games or any emojis that I did. I didn't count those because they basically were one picture that I just edited a bunch of times, so they weren't really fully finished pictures. So I did get a lot of art done, considering I do actually still have a day job where I answer calls for a company, so I'm not doing art full time. I did get quite a large amount of art done, and I was quite surprised when I actually counted up how much art I had actually managed to get done in the last 12 months. Speaking of day jobs, my day job did become a lot less stressful when I finally decided the one I currently had was just too much, and that I would look for a different job and try and get something that wasn't making me cry every evening when I finished work. So I decided to look for a new job. I literally found one that was suitable and applied for it. And I got hired for it on the same day. So that was super exciting for me because it was basically the same thing I was already doing, except way easier and way less stressful, and with set hours instead of rotating hours. So it meant that I got a better sleeping pattern. I was less stressed. I had more energy because I wasn't switching around my times all the time and finishing at different times a day. It was also a job that wasn't a work from home job anymore. So I actually got to see people and get out of the house and get exercise. And that helped a lot with my motivation levels and how much energy I had. It really made a huge difference to my whole perspective on things. So I was really glad I took the plunge and decided to quit my long-standing job, even though it was a very secure job and the new job was a little bit of a risk. It was definitely worth the risk and I'm much happier for it. So that happened in May. I changed jobs and I'm really happy that I did. Not long after that, in July, was when things really started to take off for me. I got my very first Patreon, which I was super happy about, and thank you very, very much, Zempa, for being my very first Patreon. They're still my Patreon today, and I really super appreciate the support. It really means a lot to me, so thanks so much for that. I have 2 Patreons at the moment. The second one is Zanti, so thank you very much, Zanti, as well. But in July was when I got my first one. And shortly afterwards, Be Awesome Games contacted me and asked me to do a sample page as they were thinking of doing a comic. So I did that and I waited a little bit and they got back to me and I got hired for doing the comic page, which was also super exciting. It's basically a dream come true for me, as I'd given up any ideas on actually having an art career. I'd basically decided it was too much of a competitive industry and I wasn't fast enough or good enough at what I was doing to be able to do that. I occasionally did do commissions every now and then, but didn't consider myself good enough to be part of a business. So this kind of changed my mindset a bit and was really exciting. I was really proud of myself for being able to keep up with the demand too. I had to do a comic page a week essentially, which I have managed to do every time I was asked to do it. I did do the pages. They are a very busy company, so they don't always get back to me in time for me to do a page. And as I still have a day job, I'm only able to really do art between Friday and Tuesday. So if I don't get responses or if I don't get what I need by the weekend, I basically can't do it until the next weekend. But yeah, that was very, very exciting for me, and it's still kind of like a dream come true when I think about that I'm actually, doing art for a game company. Even though it's an indie one, it still means the world to me, and it did inspire me to try and draw more difficult angles that I hadn't really tried before, and trying to refine my style and keep to a style, because obviously with a comic you need to keep style consistent and the characters consistent. So there's a lot of new things I was thinking about and trying. In late November or early December, I finally made it to 100 subscribers. So it's another big milestone for me, especially since I'd only really started taking videos seriously this year. So from between March and November, I managed to pick up 95 new subscribers, which I know, again, is not a huge amount, but it does still mean a lot to me that I did manage to make it to that milestone. And that pretty much brings us up to where I am now. I feel like the channel is only just beginning. I'm only just starting to find out what kind of videos people like, and I'm trying to make sure that I get that content out more. I'm trying to make sure I have enough time to get all this art done, as well as keep up with what Be Awesome Games require me to do. I would absolutely love to be able to quit my day job, so I'm hoping sometime next year, if things start to improve or pick up traction a bit more, maybe in the following year I'll be able to do art full time. That's certainly what my husband is going to be doing. He's actually quitting his day job next year, as his art is enough to sustain us. So I'm really excited for him as well, and I'm hoping to follow suit in the next year. And that's pretty much it. Here's my finished picture. Thank you everybody for coming along with this ride with me, and Happy New Year. I hope everything goes well for you all in the new year as well. And rest assured, I'll be making sure to bring you as much art as possible. And I'm always open to suggestions. If people have anything they'd like to learn or they'd like to see from me, then I'm more than happy to share that with you. Thanks everybody for watching, and I'll see you all next time. Bye!